All right, welcome online audience and welcome in-person audience, board members, guests. We are going to call to order. It's at 7:14. And now Laura's going to do roll call.
Oh, am I? Okay. Kareem. Here. Chris. Absent. Diana. Here. Rahim. Absent. Candace. Here. Jasmine. Here. Show King.
Absent.
On Zoom, I think. I can come back to that. Michael.
Yes, present.
Zoom. Dennis. Here. Teresa. Laura, here. Nuriel. Oh, did we hear from Nuriel?
No.
Ed.
Here.
Michael. Soderstrom.
Here.
Here. Paula.
Michael. Here.
Dolores. There she is.
Yeah. So,
Chris. Christopher or Chris?
Chris.
Grace. Present. And I got them. Yep. We're good. Oh, 20 people.
yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Not a person named 20.
No.
Got it. Roll call is complete.
All right, thank you. All right, we have public announcements on items on the agenda.
Oh, we haven't shared the agenda yet.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. We have to review the agenda. That's our next thing I passed over. Because I'm looking at it.
Somebody's calling it up. Nope, that ain't.
That's not it. There it is.
Okay.
Get to page 2. Yeah, call to order, roll call, reviewing the agenda, which we're doing now. Public comments, government agencies, executive reports. That's big reports. Several of those, and then we adjourn.
Yes, so I have one, move on down planning. Now, this one, number 3,
Uh-huh.
to be tabled. It'll be
Okay,
tabled.
when we get to it, just say that, just go on.
Okay.
Okay. So that is our agenda for tonight. We need to approve it. Can I get a show of hands? I need to approve the agenda.
You second.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, we're voting to approve the agenda. Okay, now we have comments. Michael? Yes, Michael. Or he's just voting.
He was voting.
Oh, yeah. Public comments, announcements. Okay, government agency reports. You know what, we're gonna start off with our friends from the fire department. We thank you for taking the time, and so we're going to let you go first.
Thanks for having me. Good place to talk from.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name's Donald Dillenberger. I'm the new Battalion 11 C Platoon Commander.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks for having me. I replaced Chief Anderson here. Just like LAPD, they rotate chief officers around at the pleasure of the fire chief. So there's 3 of us currently responsible for your area, myself, Greg Avery, and Ben Culp. We'll do our best to attend your meetings and answer any questions you have. If I can't answer them, I'll definitely get back to you with that information. The fire department's been using something for about a decade now called, we're calling it Stat. It was adopted from Professor Ben at Harvard, a program called performance stat and what NYPD used was called ComStat in the 90s to help get the public better understanding of the service fire and police departments were providing to them. So the latest, what we're calling times, where we measure like how fast we get on the rigs to come help you, how long it takes, travel time, medical calls, fires, etc. So I'll just share briefly what our updates are on that. In July, it took us 1 minute, 6 seconds to process calls that our dispatch center, if you're not familiar with that, at 500 East Temple downtown is where all calls are routed to for service for the fire department. The way that the dispatch works by law in the city of Los Angeles, all calls go through either the CHP or LAPD first, and then once you've told them you have a medical emergency, it gets transferred to the fire department. So, call 911, that's what's to be expected. It takes the firefighters approximately 53 seconds to put their full gear on at the station and leave. The average travel time in this area, specifically Station 26 is right down the street on Western, is 5 minutes, 6 seconds total.
All right.
As far as fire calls that Station 26 went to last month, actual fires were 13 working structure fires. So we have had an increase in heat-related injuries to firefighters. I think the stats where we had 6 people burned last month. Nothing significant. Every injury is significant, but nothing that is going to be career or life-altering. Just everyone spent a little bit of time off first and second degree burns. The fire department wants you to know that we're using something called Notify LA. Is anyone familiar with that program? Some people probably have signed up for it. It's on the city's website. That's one. It's the URL is emergency period lacity.gov/alerts/notify LA, and that's a way to receive text message type alerts. You can get them via email or computerized voice to let you know what's going on in your area if there's an emergency. A lot of people that live in the mountain districts like to be notified that way in case there's a brush fire where they would need to evacuate. More simple website to write down, basically do the same thing for what's going on in the community. It's www.lafd.org/alerts, ALERTS. That'll give you basically the same, just more fire department related local emergencies. The fire chief wants me to relay that the LAFD is currently hiring, and nationwide, we've been experiencing, in my words, a crisis trying to get people to fill civil service positions. So when myself and firefighter Dyer took the test, took the test in 2000. Did you take this? There were 10,000 applicants that took that test, and this last time we had 732. So the goal is to recruit people from the community in the area. But if you know anyone that's interested, go ahead.
What's the starting salary?
A little bit over $100,000 after benefits. So
What are the ages?
18 is the minimum requirement, high school diploma. We don't have a top age that I'm aware of. Yeah, we used to, but we currently don't. Yes.
Do you have like a youth program?
Anyone can visit, any child can go to Station 26
Yeah.
or wherever and say they're interested in the cadet program, and they'll direct them to the current best location to do that. We have what we call post advisors. They're all senior firefighter men and women that are involved in the youth mentorship programs, where the process is basically they go through training program and become certified to volunteer at the fire stations where They'll ride on the fire truck, fire engine, or ambulance, gain experience. The best part about that for youth is that the fire department's currently paying people to go to paramedic school, things like that. So even if they're not on the fire department, we have a program to sponsor people so that they can go to school. We're currently using cadets to staff our wildland unit, which is going to go full time. Calling that a lot of opportunities, worker jobs. So they can visit any local fire station and get more info. Yes, ma'am.
Do you hire anyone with disabilities?
The fire department, we have, we're ADA compliant, so we'll hire people with disabilities. As far as becoming a sworn firefighter, they have to pass a medical component to do that, but we do have civilian jobs in the fire service if they're basic requirements. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what those are.
Can we let him finish his report and then answer any questions?
Sure.
Or were you done with your report?
No, but I'm glad to answer questions.
On the cadet program, what is there a minimum or a maximum age? I mean, what is that? What is a cadet? What is that span?
It was 14 to 21.
Yes.
They made exceptions on that, but the last time that I checked, and it's a good way for someone to just learn about the fire department before they take a test and realize that they don't. They'll get a good example. But as I was saying, there is a nationwide LAPDs feeling the same impacts. I would say our partner agency, the County of Los Angeles Fire Department, it's a nationwide thing. People just don't seem to be interested in the physical demands of the job. So, I mentioned that the way that people can apply, if you know anyone that's interested, is at the URL www.joinlafd, joinlafd.org. That'll get through the entire process. It's very descriptive on there. And then everyone knows that we've been dealing with severe weather. I'm sure everyone's uncomfortable. It's like there's a few things that I'd like to mention about the fire department, but just as representing the city family, GWP. They currently have a program designed to help customers manage heat risks while offering rebates on certain cooling units. So ones that seem to be the easiest to set up are the small portable ones with casters that you can push around your room and then you vent them out of a small window. They're offering rebates on those. IDLA is a website with free tools. And you can look up that hashtag, just ReadyLA. And then cooling centers. So we all know people that very young, very old, maybe it's important to help those people find a cool place on some of these days where we've been having heat alerts. So if you dial 211, which is the county number, or 311, they can direct you to the closest cooling center and arrange transportation to help people get over. I think that's all I have for you, but I'll take any more questions.
All right, thank you, Officer Middleburger and Dyer. Oh, Ed, you have another question? Yeah.
I can just clarify my own mind. When you say firefighters, there firefighters.
Okay, that's a great question. I can answer. So all firefighters in the city of Los Angeles are also emergency medical technicians. So their training, the emergency medical technician is basically a 7-unit. Some compressed courses can be as fast as a month. Some are up to a semester in college. But teaching what we call basic life support skills, CPR, airway management, how to stop people from hemorrhaging, just basic what we call life support measures, and then recognizing the signs and symptoms of certain severe illnesses. You'll see ambulances, and some of them are paramedic ambulances, some are EMT. The way that we know that, and it's harder, but the ones that start with an 800, so like you have one at 26, 826, has 2 firefighter EMTs on it. We also staff and provide paramedic service for the city of Los Angeles. So those ambulances say paramedic ambulance on them, but it will just say 2-6 on the ambulance or 11. The firefighters that staff those went to special training. It's about a year of school, and it teaches you what's called advanced life support techniques. So from starting IV lines and giving people fluids to the same medications that hospitals have when your heart stops, people have allergic reactions, that whole myriad of quick intervention that Los Angeles provides that paramedic service. Additionally, we have several fire companies or fire engines and trucks that we have one paramedic on, and they're called assessment resources. And the goal of that is to provide having what we call advanced life support within 5 minutes of the time that someone calls 911. So for example, if an ambulance is coming from say where I used to work before I came here around Austin and Western, and the ambulance is coming from there, but it's a severe level call, like for a heart attack or something like that, then we'll send an assessment fire company ahead of that ambulance. So you'll get a fire company with a paramedic on it that can start that advanced level of care prior to the ambulance arriving. Yes, ma'am.
Fire calls. How many non-fire calls did the fire department do out?
Those fire calls were like a confirmed working fires.
Right, so
So-
what about the, more like the health?
Every day, our call average right now is 1680. So 13 fire calls that 26s alone went to.
Right.
So if you multiply that by 6, so each station approximately 10 fires, one a day. But usually the percentage, but it'll be an easier way to explain it. Right now, 85% of the calls we're going on are medical related, and 15% of them are fire.
Thank you.
Or other
Perfect, perfect.
Sorry, it took me a while to compute.
Well, thank you so
Yes, ma'am. I'll bring business cards next time I come, then I'll
Okay.
give the address. Thank you.
And I have one for you.
Yes, ma'am.
And now, CD10. Do we have the CD10? Oh, we are Aaron here. Hi, Aaron.
Hello, everybody, how are you all?
Welcome.
I got a couple notes.
Yeah, I know that.
Perfect, good, you're visible.
Hi, everybody on Zoom land.
It's good land.
Zoom land.
This is Eric Aguilar.
Eric, hey, y'all, hi, everybody. You see some familiar faces in here. With Council District 10, I am in Southeast Beverly, just in case there is anybody new. Basically, I cover Crenshaw East to about Western, South to about Vernon, the area that I cover. During the last meeting, there was some concerns in regards to Western between 27th and 29th in regards to the overall vegetation. I just want to let you all know that BSS was contacted and they are in communications with the property management firm of that lot, so they have about 30 days to respond to the request. And if that 30 days isn't met, then of course the city is going to enforce whatever fines that needs to be enforced to make sure that the property owner maintains that lot. Second, we do have a couple of events that are coming up. This weekend, we are in partnership with many organizations. But the lead organization is bigger than us, and they're doing a back to school event at Crenshaw High School on 8/5. So this weekend between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Now, this isn't your traditional backpack. It's going to be activities for the kids. It's going to be a concert. It's going to be some jazz mix involved. So they're literally giving the community a welcome back and a festival to go back to school with, which also includes haircuts for the youth. They are repaving the outside basketball court at Crenshaw High School. So if you have some kids that want to participate in some items, that would be greatly appreciated. Another one is we are having movies in the park at Queen Anne on August 18th. I forget the name of the show. I'm sure Steve on the flyer that's gonna come. Second is we are relaunching Camp Weston, so it'll basically be called Heather Huff Presents Camp Weston, and that is taking place at the end of this month. And it'll be held at Camp Hollywood between August 25th and August 27th for both male and female. And did I say Camp Hollywood already? Did I say the date, 25th to the 27th? I think that it so that camp. So if you got any youth between the ages of 6 and 12, please send them my way. I'll send you the application as well. It is first come, first served basis. So the sooner you complete the application and turn it back, that'd be greatly appreciated. The last thing we want to do, truthfully, is to turn away any kids, but we have a capacity, I almost want to say 150. Camp Hollywood. You know, you see that big old Hollywood sign up there? So there's a camp that's located near and around there. Yep, basically Griffith Park. Yeah. So if you all, grandbabies, kids, you want a free weekend, please make sure you register. They're between the ages of 6 and 12. It is an overnight camp. Unfortunately, we will leave on a school day, which is the 25th of August. But, you know, I'm a constructive learner, which means sometimes you enjoy that, or you get to bring that real life experience back into the classroom. So with that being said, are there any questions, concerns, thoughts? Anything that you would like to bring to my attention? No? Anybody try emailing me and said I haven't got back to them?
Yes.
Okay. You? What did you email?
The next day, I was trying to see if you had any of the pictures that you brought to me this morning.
Oh, I did see that. I did. I think I sent some to the Lord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you send that too? Did you send that request over too? Yeah. Let me tell you something. I think sometimes I even forget how large my area is, and I get emails flying through all day, and sometimes late at night, I don't want to present to you all that I literally work like 24/7, but I'll at least check my email at night and say, oh, I saw it, I'll respond back to him in the morning. I don't want to respond back to you at 10:37 at night. Right. And then you're like, oh, Eric is up, he'll respond back. No problem. I'm really trying to create, like, truthfully, a work-life balance.
Right.
But if it is a
And
sense
you
of
shouldn't have
urgency.
left your phone.
Right. She's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. Yeah, so this is my personal, but my work one is in the car right now, so if you just so happen 5:15. But other than that, ping me again, send me a text message saying, hey, Eric, can you send those pictures over? I'll be the first one that I'm not perfect. I do make mistakes. This call, may forget to respond back to some emails. So please, hey, Eric, can you check this email? Yeah. Yeah, just let me know. I appreciate it. I'm glad it was pictures and not, some constituent services.
You need a lamp?
Right. Yes, sir.
So I think I mentioned last time about the
And
Remember that we're speaking.
Yeah, speak loud.
Okay, I had mentioned previously when you were here about the cans, the green cans, the city green cans. I was just wondering, is there how being maintained and managed? And how can maybe us, since the city, whatever their schedule is not doing the job.
Yeah, that is definitely a city service. I know some communities have actually just completely uplift, mitigate some of the life situations that they may cause. It's been to a point now where our sanitation department is so short-staffed that we've been sending out our response team to go out and pick up these green grass, the cans that he's been referring to. Yeah, and then we were out there today, actually, we weren't my wife's, picking up some of these containers that trash bins, these that's been over. So it's not just like the fire department is short, it's just city civil services, period, has been struggling. And what happens is, I think people get into a process of they'll apply one day, and then next you'll hear back from them in like a year and a half, and like, man, I applied 2 years ago, now you just called me, I'm in a full position. So even just our hiring process, the city service position is cumbersome, and it can take a long time.
I have something. Thank you. Ed, are you talking about the trash receptacles along Bo or along
Yes.
Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we had, the council district had a contract with LACC or.
Right, I didn't want to mention that part for the group because we are online, but since you mentioned it, we do have a contract with LACC, and we are in the process of finalizing the memo of understanding because it's a new fiscal year. So that did slow things up a little bit, but once that actually sent through, you'll start seeing LACC picking those green trash cans up. But in the meantime, back to his point, we've been deploying our emergency response team to basically empty those receptacles.
Move on, next we have our.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. For a little bit,
Thank you for taking the time. Report from Alfonso Martin, are you there? He joined us, we saw him for the first time last meeting, and here he is today.
Again, my name's Alfonso Monzo. I'm here to grab. So some announcements. So we're gonna do onboarding trainings in the following months. We'll be providing various onboarding trainings, and we'll be conducting in all Spanish and person training at City Hall. The training is open to all board members. You can RSVP. So August 29th, it's open to all regions. So you guys can save that date. I'll email you the link later on tonight. Another question about SB 4011. So at the May 15th Senate meeting, SB 4011 was passed with amendments with a vote of 30 days, 5 days, and 5 abstentions. They will not be referred to the assembly. You can still track SB 411, and again, I'll provide that link later on.
Let me just share for you, SB 411 is the meeting, and right now, we have to be in person.
Yes.
Okay.
Another event that we're having this year is the Congress of Neighborhoods. It's going to be Saturday, December 23rd at City Hall, and it's free and open to the public. Registration for the Congress of Neighborhoods will open late this month. Each neighborhood council is asked to sponsor this annual conference for neighborhood council board members, each members, and members of the public. The event will include breakfast and opening sessions, dozens of workshops, and an exhibitor fair, lunch, closing session, and more. It's available. I know there's a few questions about it last time. So every year, before COVID, we would have this Congress of Neighborhoods. It was like a open house, basically. We provided training, and I'm gonna be there for come by, say hi. And there's also gonna be NC funding training. So the next one is Tuesday, August 8th. And then Tuesday, August 22nd. And this is for NC Financial Officer Funding System Portal Training. And I can provide that link as well. I'll send you guys it. That's it.
Questions?
You're having these
No, your voice is too low.
When you say that you're having these funding trainings, how does that differ from?
Yeah,
training
cornerstone
online?
funding training.
How, are we talking about something totally different, or are we talking about just going through that?
So,
He's saying,
yeah, so from my understanding is that we're gonna do all these trainings. The NC, funding training, I think that's only for like financial officers, but there's some that's gonna be open to all board members as well.
So that, we're gonna approve the administrative packet. That's a training that people can take and find out how that's put together.
Yeah,
they have trainings on NPGs, which are the,
It's on the email, I saw that.
and they'll have a lot of training on event planning events. You know, so these are like bigger, these are not the basic funding training
Oh,
you take.
That's
take
what.
Yes?
So back to the Congress of Neighborhoods, just for everyone. I think John joined me, but we're doing planning 101 again, only in person. So we can have lunch, but that'll be a good training, because it's gonna be a dual, it'll be 2 sessions in 1 session. And some of you have seen that presentation that we did last year, 3 years ago. And then the other part of it is about how to run an ethics committee. How to build an ethics. But there'll be lots of other.
yeah, there's a lot.
You just hate the idea of land use.
There's a lot of trainings and workshops. Also, if you're looking for parking that day, I think. So that's what we're doing for you first review, so we can organize that as well. Now the parking in downtown LA is kind of an issue. Not as bad as a few years ago, but
Oh, they're not opening city hall parking?
yeah, they are.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. I think, I'll get your information, all that stuff, so we can.
But it's a really fun event. I mean, you know, the last time it was in person, there was almost 1,000 people. You know, from neighborhood councils all over the state.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll be almost 1,000 people this time, but it's really a good way to meet other people.
So I know last time the fire marshal was telling us that if they reached over 1,000, we were getting it down. So
So we won't say that anymore.
Any more questions?
I've been getting emails too where it says Empower LA. Is that part of what you're talking about?
So, the department, yeah, exactly. So the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, we're also known as Empower LA. So our website actually goes by Empower LA. So if you get emails from that, from our city or from other directors.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
that's
we
us.
come up with-
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, I just want to issue a warning that we've been getting some emails that are that it's plain to be that they've given an invoice to Empower LA. Ignore those, delete them. You will never get this. That's not real.
That's it. Yes, this is good to know. All right, thank you, Alfonso. We are still on number 4 of our agenda, and it's 10 minutes to 8. Let's keep moving. Do we have anyone here from Congress's office? How about Holly Mitchell's office? Okay, Isaac Bryan's office. Okay, then, any other government officials? All right, then we're going to go to our executive committee. You're up. New treasurer.
So, first off, I took my training last week.
Yeah.
So I haven't had access to the funding portal yet. But is that the one I'm sharing?
I think it's a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
So, yes, so, but shout out to Paul, we met earlier this week, so he walked me through, some of the expenses that we have. So this is for our current fiscal year. Our budget for the year is $32,000. Expenses to date, in July, which we don't have a report yet for, that'll develop itself next week. but we spent $337. And then nothing outstanding, and that's what we have available for the current fiscal year. There's,
Take questions now.
you get to do the call.
You want to take the questions?
Oh, sure, yeah, sure.
Wanna take it now?
I can take the questions.
Hello?
Go ahead, Sandra.
Actually, I'm just asking about the audio. It's really bad. And I put a chat up there to say that it's going in and out, it's muffled. So I really can't even hear what's being said because it's going in and out. I know we can't hear. So is there any way you can fix that?
We tried by turning off the air conditioning.
Mm.
Well, I will speak louder.
It's not the speaking part of it at all. It's muffling. It's like you could be talking and it just goes out, whether you're speaking loud or not. And I don't know what else it could be, but it's not that. But okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that better? Can you hear me? Is it still weird?
Yeah.
And it'll.
Are you?
So there's also MBR from June.
No, not.
We need the MER from June.
Yeah, the MER from June, Paul and I also talked about. Also important part of that, so we're just to point out that we rolled about $6,000, so it's like 5933. Oh, there it is. So the MER from June, which is the last MER for the fiscal year last year, we ended up rolling over
This is where.
about $6,000.
What happened? I don't think MER is here.
Because it's really being shared.
Okay.
Two of us are trying to do the same. Okay.
So the last MER, we did spend a good amount of money to try to use some funds before. There's a community improvement project that's still in the process. That's still with the clerk's office, they're working through that to approve that. And then the other main thing that I have to point out that's not is that for the administrative packet for the budget, we have to submit a new one with all the new financial officers on it.
That's a different item on your agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. Is as we're thinking about expenses for the year, maybe in September or October, think about if we still want the allowance for what we decided at the beginning of the administrative package, if we still want those to look the same. Price-wise, like, are we still spending the same amount for community grants and so forth? So something that's upcoming, to think about, to allow money if we still have the way it's parceled out or.
Okay, so, and I'm scrolling through this while she's.
This is. Oh, and one more thing, I have to make a motion to request reimbursement for that.
Not yet.
Oh, it's for the intern. It's okay. All right, so.
Not yet. We have to do a motion to approve the.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, so I move. Yeah. I move to approve the June MER. So I move to approve the July, June MER.
Yes.
For you and
All right.
We're good.
Jasmine?
Am I allowed to say?
Yeah. Candace? Laura?
Yes.
Michael Soderstrom?
Yes.
Edward? I'm a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace? Yes. Dennis?
Yes.
Yes. Lisa? Diana? Chris?
Yes.
Okay, back up, Diana, you haven't taken funding, is it correct? To vote on a funding you do.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I'm not using eligible.
Okay, got it. All right, motion passes.
Okay.
Okay, and so now I need another motion to reimburse Diana. Oh, right. So, yay, Diana for Monday.
For tonight's refreshment.
So I make a motion to reimburse Diana Cooper for tonight's refreshments in the amount of $184.91.
Second.
Yes.
And Anderson. 184.91. Thank you. Jasmine? Yes. Janice? Yes. Laura?
Yes.
Michael Surstrom?
Yes.
Edward?
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace? Yes. Dennis?
Yes.
Diana? Oh, that's right, sorry. Chris?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Am I not being counted because I'm not in the meeting?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
So I don't get to vote?
Yeah, you can't vote if you're not present physically.
That sucks.
Well, that's the state legislature's rules at the moment.
Wow.
That's why we're trying to pass SB 411, and then that would include online as well as in person. Okay, next is my report.
Thank you.
Thank you, your first report, yay. Item 1 on the agenda for me was handbook. This was a work that Greg put together, it's 100 pages. And because it was so big, I gave it to a friend that has a reproduction business to copy for me so that I can put it in a binder, and I haven't gotten it yet, but hopefully I will have that next meeting. Next, we need to affirm the appointment of our treasurer, signatory, alternative signer. So,
Approve the financial, this document, and approve the letter.
what is the?
It's the same thing.
Okay,
It's all one.
okay, so tell me what this is. This is something that explains who all of our people are. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And it lists Candace as our treasurer, Teresa, and Teresa. Second signer. Laura is alternate signer. Teresa is a bank card holder, and Laura is a bank card holder. This is the letter of acknowledgement that has been signed. So we need to,
So I am sharing on the screen the unsigned version.
Yes, it is signed. We need to affirm this. And so.
Who makes the motion?
I moved it.
Affirm the appointment.
I second.
Okay.
You have to do roll.
Yes.
Okay.
Jasmine? Candace?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
I'm a yes. For Paula?
Yes.
Grace? Yes. Dennis?
Yes.
Corinne? Yes. Teresa?
Yes.
Diana?
Yes.
Chris?
Lastly, our outreach committee was chaired by our wonderful Lizzie Moro-Misato. Have to step down. And so Dolores Spears has agreed to chair that outreach committee, and I would like to appoint Dolores as the chair. Do we need to vote on that or?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we do need to vote, so my motion is Laura Spears be named as chair for the outreach committee. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Dennis second, and
Do you want to have this discussion?
Okay, Jackson,
Yes.
Candace, Laura, yes. Edward?
Yes.
Yes. Paula,
yes.
Grace? Yes. Dennis?
Yes.
Marie?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Anna? Chris?
Yeah.
Motion passes.
And next is the secretary.
Oh, Dolores has raised her hand.
Oh, Dolores, yes. I have to do- Okay.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm sorry that I can't be there as I'm out of town at a family reunion. But thank you for the nomination, Paula, and thank you, board members, for your yes vote. And I look forward to working with you on our outreach projects.
Thank you, Dolores. Okay. Secretary.
Yes. Sorry. So last month, we had a meeting. Can you just scroll down? Thank you.
Good.
Sorry. Call the meeting to order. Councilwoman Heather Hutt was here and swore us in. We had the approval of the agenda. There were several public comments. Let's see. Government agency reports. Comments. It's okay. Yeah, this is still government agency reports. We have a lot of us. We did. Okay, so guest presentations last month included the Community Veterans Justice Project and the rehab reuse of Countryside Theater. Both had a lot of discussion. We had the vacant at-large representative that we appointed to that seat. Treasurer update, requests. It's a busy meeting. Committee. Like I remember it being busy, but now I really remember. Committee reports. Executive committee business. And then we adjourn.
Oh, at 9:40 p.m., we're not doing that.
Well, we'll see. If you have any questions. I move that we accept the secretary's report.
I second. And this is just a hand vote.
Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. All right, now we have the VP report.
Yes. Okay, I've lost it again, Teresa. Okay. Excuse me. I don't know either.
Okay, you begin speaking.
I would like to begin by trying to figure out what I just did wrong on these. Zoom screen. Here it is. Okay, so we're doing okay on our training. This is the screenshot from Dunn as of first. It's not. But most of you have taken at minimum the code of conduct and the funding training. And I want to emphasize, Dunn, if you contact them, I know people have had some trouble with Cornerstone, they're going to assure you that don't worry, you have some time to take the other trainings. They're correct. Adjusted violence we voted on a year ago, gave you 30 days. From the time of appointment. So technically, at this point, should have taken all of the training, including the anti-bias training. The anti-bias training is a one-shot, you never have to take it again, but ethics and funding along with conduct is every 2 years. And not as any other training, we have to do those too. And so please do your very darndest to get into that Cornerstone. If you have trouble with a Cornerstone, email Alfonso, myself, and then please also, when you complete, if you have any missing trainings, when you complete them, send a copy of your certificate or certificates to Paula and myself. Because it's hard for, we're not the ones online keeping the portal up to date. So Dunn may lag us by a week or 10 days. So it's especially important for ongoing board members to keep in mind when you took your code of conduct the last time, because Dunn is pretty rigorous about that 2-year renewal and the 4-year renewal and the 6-year renewal. I know how tough it is. I have to do it. And I, spent 3 hours doing ethics again. So, it's not like it's just for the new people. It's like we know what it is and it's not fun, but we have to do it. Okay. And then attendance, because of this, transfer from all on Zoom to all, to the in-person this spring, we basically are trying to be kind about the attendance of April, May, June. And so we just are doing a reset for July. But just keep in mind, again, from our bylaws, if you miss 3 consecutive meetings or 3 total meetings, even if they're not consecutive. So it's not completely about excused or unexcused. But if you miss too many meetings, within our bylaws, what we say is, we have the right to ask you to attend the executive committee, and we also have the right to bring it up to the whole board for potential dismissal from the board. We're not trying to be mean, and we don't do it just like that. We understand that people in their lives, somebody may be ill, there may be something going on, but we want to make sure that the stakeholders we're all elected or appointed to represent are represented. So in this case, Paula seems to be the good cop, and I seem to be more of the bad cop. But we're both trying to be as kind as possible. But maybe the best thing, I'm speaking to people who are present, and we're talking about people who might be absent too much. So, but the best thing is, especially when you're planning your travels, please look at the calendar, because we are meeting on the first Thursday of every month, except January, because that's New Year's Day. So we won't be meeting that day. Thank you.
Thank you. And in case you saw the recording, you saw me with blanks. I want you to know I took my training.
I just want to add, for the cornerstone training, if you have any issues with that, feel free to email me.
Okay.
And then I can provide assistance. If I don't reply you can contact our RLA email. Or you can even call into the office. We have admin staff there.
Right.
They can help you over the phone too.
But the main thing, Alfonso, for us, I don't know how other neighborhood councils do this, but we want to know when somebody's in danger of being removed. We don't want to wait till you've already removed them and then we're suddenly shocked by the whole thing. So please stay in contact with us. Whoever's making those.
And I did have to reach out, I had trouble getting on the Cornerstone. And I guess because my log-on was from 2 years ago, it didn't acknowledge it.
Right.
So they had to send me a new log-on. And then I was able to take the training. So, all right, thank you, Laura. All right, we're going to continue moving on. Oh, are there any questions? Go ahead.
I have 2 quick questions. Number 1, the January meeting, are we not having a meeting in January?
No, we would have to find a special date.
Okay. But the second.
Yes, you'll be notified of that.
Well, we'll probably have a discussion in December.
Yes.
Or ask everybody to look at their calendars.
Yes.
Okay. And then the second question is about the special meetings. I think one of the meetings we had during spring, it was pushed. It was moved.
March 29th, that's right. So we could try and do it 100% Zoom before we had to be in person.
Okay, I guess I was just wondering what the attendance policy is for those, since if we do sort of plan in advance and then we can't make a change meeting, does that still count?
Well, that was one of the changes we did in the bylaws. So up until we adjusted the bylaws, only regular meetings counted per the city attorney. So we removed the word regular from the bylaws, and now it is for duly noticed scheduled meetings.
So for any,
For any meeting of the governing board. But again, this is just what allows us to start counseling someone, I mean, to be blunt. We're not trying to remove board members by any means, we're trying to keep them. But yes, you know what I mean, we're trying to keep them, but we would now be allowed to remove someone if we chose to, because we changed that language. And you're a lawyer, right? But you work with them. You work with them. So the words have meaning to the city attorney, so that, you know, she saw the word regular and said, oh, that's only if you meet on the exact night of your standing meeting. So now that's gone from the bylaws.
funding request. Who is presenting? I don't have a name here.
Sandra Pruitt?
Okay, Sandra Pruitt, Friends of Jefferson Park request for nonprofit grant, $500 to help support a movie in the park evening at Leslie Shaw Park on Friday, September 15th. The executive committee recommends $500. Do we need any more discussion on that?
Well, let Sandra introduce herself, if she can hear us, which I'm not.
Yeah, now, turn off all the air.
What just happened?
I
I don't know either.
We're having technical difficulties.
We are.
Are you doing
That
it?
feels like-
You know where it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
there it is.
Fine.
But I don't know why that other thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Sandra.
Yes.
Where?
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hello?
So we're very excited about being able to sponsor our first family-friendly movies in the park in Leslie Shaw Park, since we haven't done anything outside with our community in over 2 years. And what we would like to do is, what we are planning is to create a community event, like I said, family-friendly, on Friday, September the 15th, to bring the community together, also to promote activities with the library, since I'm the president of the Friends of the Library, Jefferson Branch Library, and have other businesses in the area also promote the different businesses in the area. We would like to ask for $500 to cover the entertainment portion, which would be a DJ, the movie screen, and also the projector and the operator of the movie. And the movie that we'll be showing will be Soul, S-O-U-L. So that's, and I'd like to also invite the UNC to have, we're having tables out there, and like I said, have other people. So since a lot of people are not aware or haven't been exposed to UNC for a while, it would be a great opportunity to have you all come out there. CD10 is also going to be supporting this event, and I'm reaching out to the Southwest and also the Fire Station 34, which is in our neighborhood.
And Sandra, what are the hours of the event?
From 4 p.m. until 9. So from 4 to sundown, about 7:30, we'll have different activities for the kids. Basically, be playing music and food. And then at 7:30, when the movie starts, the movie will last until 9 at Leslie Shaw Park.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we have the motion. No, we don't have the motion.
Well, the executive committee can make the motion.
Yes, the executive committee actually did recommend that we grant $500 to the Friends of Jefferson Park Library.
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, now we'll take the vote.
Right, and I do want to confirm that we have checked the 501c3 IRS status, and they are good.
Dolores has her hand up.
Dolores?
Yeah, Sandra, you said that the movie would start at 7:30. When they did the movie up at the Benny Potter Park, it didn't get dark until almost 8 o'clock. So, and then the sun was still shining on the screen. You could barely see it. Is that something that would be taken into consideration?
Yes. Oh, dang, pushed the wrong button. Sorry, hello? Oh my goodness, what did I do? Yes, Dolores, that it will be taken consideration. Yeah, hi. And the way the screen is facing, we may not have that problem because our screen will be facing going north and with the sun down behind us. So that might be a good thing. And I was there for that. And the movie still started at 7:30 and they just kind of.
Sunset at 7 p.m. that night, yes, you're fine. Right.
The movie still started at 7:30 and that we just have to work our way through it so it can still be over by 9 o'clock. So we're gonna start at that same time. Hopefully, like they said, the sun will set a little bit earlier.
Thank you, Sandra, and also keep in mind, Dolores, this is September the 15th, so we got a little ways out. All right, so we're about to take a vote.
My second question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes, when we had the movie in the park before, it was associated with, I think it was the National Night Out, and it was a UNC sponsored, mostly sponsored event. Is this, I want to know how UNC is going to fit into the promotion of this event, because right before the movie started, I think you did an intro on the screen, and it was almost like it was you were promoting the whole thing as opposed to the supporters of the event. So I'm wondering, how is this going to be put out to the public?
Well, actually UNC did not support that event. That event was put on by 5013, which was me. UNC still came out and helped out with the event, but I didn't get any funding from UNC for that event. I did that.
I think we supported pizzas.
No. At the time, the president was the guy that we had before him.
Great.
No, Jeff.
Oh, that was long time.
No, yes. Not Jeff. No, not that one. Jeff did support that one, and we've done it twice. The last one I believe that you're talking about, which was the pizza, was done by my nonprofit. And that's why I was the one on the screen that promoted it, because we didn't get any funding from UNC. The one before that, when UNC was out there with the tent and everything, everything was covered. UNC, I believe, sponsored something, and they were acknowledged. They were on the flyers and stuff like that. So we've done it twice, but the last one was done by my nonprofit.
All right, so the question is, UNC will be acknowledged at this one?
Yes, on the flyers, and I just asked you guys to come out and volunteer, and you had that. And in the past, there was a tent, and there was a tent out there with promotion, and there was also included on the flyers.
Okay, thank you. And Teresa?
Thank you. Sandra, so you said that this was also being sponsored by CD10?
And me.
Yes, so will Heather Hutt be there to introduce the film?
Excuse me?
Will Heather Hutt be there to introduce the film like she was at Penny Potter Park?
All right, on that. If her schedule allows it, I've asked for that to happen. Yes.
Yeah, and I think we should ask if you can acknowledge UNC since we are providing some funds for the event.
I have done many events and I've always acknowledged UNC. That's not going to change.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now, if there are no other comments, can we take the vote?
Jen?
Yes.
Candace? Yes. Laura?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Edward?
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace? Yes. Dennis?
Yes.
Kareem?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Diana? Yes. Oh, sorry, it's one name. I'm sorry. My fault. Grace?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, the motion passed, so congratulations, and thank you, Sandra.
Just one more comment, please, if you will. And
Yes, go ahead.
it's not a question, I just have okay. Sandra, I just want to let you know that I support this event 100%. And I didn't want you to think that I didn't because of the questions that I asked. And you're absolutely right. We don't have that many activities in Leslie Shaw Park. So like I said, I support it 100%. And if I had been present in the meeting, I would have voted yes. but I just had some questions from prior events, that's all.
I got you. And also, Dolores, on outreach, can we have him put in the UNC bulletin to whatever, email blast?
Yeah.
Yes.
However, I have to work with Laura and Teresa to figure out how to do that.
Okay, once we get the flyers and that made up, then I'll pass it on along.
Okay, and it'll be, can it be in English and Spanish?
Oh, good.
The flyers?
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that. And thank you all at the board. And I hope to see the Jefferson Park representatives out there because we have not seen you all. I don't even know who my reps are. So it'd be great for us to come out there and spend a little time. Yeah, because at the last event that they were talking about at Benny Potter Park, it's a kids event basically, and all of the beautiful women that came out there, none of them have any kids, but they spent their time coming out to help. So hopefully the parents will come out and bring their kids from Jefferson Park. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, our next item is administrative funding request up to $500, printing of outreach flyers. Who is? I don't have a name on that.
Dolores is still here.
Is Dolores still here?
Yeah, are you still here, Dolores?
Is that from outreach?
Yeah.
Dolores?
She's muted. You're muted, Dolores.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm using this tablet for the first time and I'm having problems navigating it.
We're having trouble navigating this stuff too.
Go ahead.
Yes, we're asking for, we have these upcoming outreach events and we're kind of low. I've been over to the storage room and we're kind of low on the flyers and we just need them for outreach.
Okay, so do you want to make that motion?
She can't.
She cannot? Oh, because you're not here. Okay.
So I'll make the motion to provide up to $500 for outreach or printing services.
I'll second it.
Okay, get a second. All right, call for the vote.
Jasmine?
Yes.
Candace?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Michael? Edward?
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Diana? Sorry.
Yes.
No, sorry. Chris? Sorry, Diana, I just.
Yes.
I keep forgetting you, Chris, that's not on purpose. Okay.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Laura,
That's Teresa.
okay. How long do you think?
I'm going to be very quick.
Okay.
So every year we, as you guys know, we have 6 to 8 committees. We have new board members who are interested in activating some of the committees that have been inactive for a while. So in September, we would like for people who are interested in chairing a committee to come and talk, why you want to do that committee and how you can move forward with that committee. There's some committee chairs who are stepping down, so those committees will be available. However, depending on, all the standing committees are held at the South Seas House. And we use this technology, which is very simple to use when it's not being moved around. The South Seas House is much smaller, it's all self-contained. There are instructions on how to host a Zoom meeting during the pandemic. Everybody who was a chair was able to host their own Zoom meeting, so we're all pretty familiar with that and streaming live. And then operating this system is it's plug and play, it's very simple to use. So I'm willing to train,
Almost very simple to use.
I will train everybody, if any new people are chairs, take over committees, I will train you on how to use Zoom, how to stream live, and how to use our new hybrid system. So I just would like everybody to keep that in mind when you volunteer to ask the board to appoint you to chair a committee.
And before I take questions, I just want to say Teresa has personally been attending all these meetings and setting this all up. And so it is very important that we get people trained, and we thank you, Teresa, for your service. You know, every time I turn around, it's like, oh, you're at this meeting, oh, you're at this meeting. But it was very necessary so that we could invite people in online. Okay, we have a question from Laura.
No, I have a comment.
Okay.
So we changed well, first of all, the way UNC committees work, we only appoint chairs or co-chairs. And then otherwise, stakeholders who attend the committee meetings are members, in effect, members of the committee for that session. So they may fully participate, make motions, vote. So long as they're real stakeholders, and it probably doesn't matter so much in some committees. At the planning and zoning, we actually do a whole thing about who's really a stakeholder. But our standing rules were changed to allow either co-chair to be considered the sole chair, in effect, for purposes of in-person versus on Zoom. So if you're going to be a committee chair or a co-chair, you'll need to be at the South Seas House. If you're just participating in a committee, you won't need to be, although it's fun and comfortable and better participation. So that's the other thing to consider, that you really, if you're going to chair a committee all by yourself, you're really gonna be at South Seas House. And otherwise, if you're co-chairing, you guys have, whoever they are, have to coordinate it pretty seriously, because we can't have the meeting without the chair being present.
Which Darren has not remembered this month.
Hello, I'm Story Bailey, for those of you who don't know, Homeless Liaison Committee.
I was gonna say, this month, I'll be in Sacramento.
Okay.
Because of the facilities that have been closing that I had on our meetings before. And so if Karina wants to come check, she can, otherwise if I can move it to the fourth, Thursday, then let me know when I need to get it.
Okay.
Okay, and then as far as Teresa training, Teresa or Laura was usually present. Can we get a specific date that you're gonna train everybody, not just new people, but everybody?
Actually, I work one-on-one with each person. That way it's a little more hands-on. So I'm going to accommodate everybody's schedule. We can Zoom, we can meet in person at the South Seas House, whatever accommodations are necessary, because I want everybody to be successful. And also I want to be free of kind of having to do it. Even though, I will just say, my phone number, like right now, this pamphlet, and Lord knows my phone number is there, anybody can call me at any time. Even during, when we were Zooming, if there was a problem, someone could call me and I could talk to you. So, whenever you're ready, Tori, we can work.
Tori, ready. I just need to know what the buttons are, what to turn it on, and then.
That's what she's gonna show.
Pretty much. Yeah, let's do that.
Right.
All right, so we're moving.
2401,
West 24th Street. 24th, it's on the northwest corner of 24th and Arlington.
Yeah.
The house literally.
The house literally on the corner.
Right.
And we'll have that information is already, yes.
Teresa, you had mentioned, you said September, this next year. You wanted people who were interested in being a chair on the.
Wait, might want to talk to Paula
Yes.
in advance.
in advance. There's a list, there, we have the list, right? With
Yes.
all the different committees.
Yes.
And actually, there's some,
But my question, I mean, the way you put it, I was wondering, were you needing a presentation in September? Is that, that's what?
no, I think we just talk for a
Okay,
couple
that's all.
minutes and then the board votes.
Okay.
Right. I mean, there's a truly long list of possible committee chairpersonships, and also liaisons to the citywide alliances. And if there were presentations, we'd have a 2-hour meeting that's only topic is that, and we just don't have that.
Well, I just was trying to get clarification.
Yeah, and I will say that we only have 8 days at the South Seas House. The council district pays for those days. So as we activate additional committees, we may have to double up on some of those evenings.
No.
Right,
Yes.
so it could be that some committees meet every other month and then every other.
Yeah.
And what we did in the original scheduling is we would sort of looked at 6:30 PM meeting and an 8 PM meeting, but 8's too late.
So it'd be like 6:15 and maybe 7:30, if we have to double up.
I would go with that every other.
Well, I mean, in other words, but planning and zoning meets twice a month, most months, right? So it's just what, every committee has different needs.
Right. All right, we want to keep this moving. We are now at 8:30.
Yeah.
Planning and zoning is next, and we have quite a few.
We do. Well, again, we're gonna table Roman numeral III, the third one.
Okay.
This table. So we have 2 items. I'm not gonna necessarily share the screen unless
Okay.
people start it. So I need to read. Oh, I'm sorry. So our first item, there's a proposed citywide adaptive reuse ordinance. So I've got this. So adaptive reuse is taking an existing building and changing it to be a completely new use. So up until now, or currently, the adaptive reuse ordinance was primarily used in downtown LA for all the older buildings, and they were being, for the last 2.5 decades. And it's what helped bring downtown back to life. And a lot of them are historic, and they were changed in purpose. So the most classic change would be the old manufacturing buildings into housing. That's not the only kind of conversion, but it was seen as a historic preservation play and also an eco play of not demolishing a building and then building a new one and sending it off to the landfill, et cetera. And the city expanded the adaptive reuse ordinance a little bit outside of downtown, but now they're trying to do a full-on citywide, any existing building that's 15 years or older, so it's no longer just historic buildings. And this is a part of the housing element initiative to provide an additional 500,000 units of housing in the city of LA in this 8-year period. We're about 2 years into the 8-year period. So this is an ordinance that is designed only for automatic yeses for conversions of any kind of building into housing. So it is not a citywide yes ordinance if you're trying to change. Another common thing that's happened lately is converting historic churches into schools. It's not going to be illegal, but it's not going to have the streamline and you get a yes no matter what in this ordinance. This is all about housing. And for historical buildings, it's the same, same relatively easy approval process, but it has to go to the zoning administrator and the historic Office of Historic Resources. So the committee went through, a very long presentation, which I don't think you want to see. The presentation is in the agenda packet, however. And we are recommending just saying we support, without any changes, we support this proposed ordinance. We did discuss whether it should be expanded to include any historic building, no matter the use, and then decided that, no, this is a housing initiative, and we support the housing initiative. So our recommended motion, which I can make in somebody else seconds, and then we can have discussion, would be when it's on the agenda, which is the Unnc Planning and Zoning Committee recommends support for the proposal to streamline the approval process for buildings older than 15 years for adaptive reuse into housing uses.
That's the motion?
That's the motion, and someone who's not on the Planning and Zoning Committee should second. Second.
All right, Kareem, second. We're gonna call for the vote.
No,
discussion.
Discussion,
Candace had her hand up.
No.
I'm sorry, not Candace, I'm sorry, Diana had her hand up.
No, Jasmine.
Oh, God. Diana, yes, Jasmine.
Has there been any, I didn't get a chance chance to attend the.
I can understand you.
Sorry, I didn't get a chance to attend the presentation, so I'm wondering if they provided any clarity on like where the funding is coming from for this?
These would be privately funded. So in other words, a person who owns a building says, I want to change my 6-story sewing manufacturing building into housing. And it's not located in downtown, but it's a good building, I want to do that because, or an office building on Wilshire Boulevard.
But it has to be older than 15 years. So it's not like someone can do it now and say, oh, well, you know what? I know it's office, but I want to change it to make it housing.
And is there any like tax incentive? What would be an incentive for an owner to say, okay, I wanna?
Well, I think that it's an economic incentive, but one of the reasons this is coming up is in the wake of COVID and people doing hybrid or working from home, and there's less need for the office spaces. So this is a way to actually breathe new life into some of the buildings. And again, what this is about is streamlining the process. We have had some recent adaptive reuse projects. For example, the former hospital on Western and 24th was adaptively reused into housing, but it wasn't a streamlined automatic process. They actually had to have a zoning administrator hearing. It was a year-long process to have the approval to change the use from commercial, commercial medical into housing. So this ordinance would eliminate that kind of entitlement process.
Ed?
Yeah, I got a question. It doesn't take, zoning into consideration? I mean, if you put in, I mean, you're talking about adaptive reuse and in a, industrial zone, just because a person has a building in an industrial zone, then they can convert it into housing? Is that what you're saying?
So it would, I think the answer is no. I think if it's a really serious manufacturing industrial zone where housing is absolutely not allowed, this would not get rid of that. But most of, I was gonna say, what the city has done in its rezoning process is a lot of areas, the industrial zone has been changed to what's called hybrid industrial. And a hybrid industrial zone does allow housing. And I'm not gonna disagree with you about the possibility of a noxious use
Exactly.
being built afterwards. I mean, in other words, you own a building, everything's full next to it, you wanna change it to housing, this might allow that. And then in the future, a true industrial use could go next door, but
So
I think the city's focus is on housing.
I guess the question I'm asking, when you say streamline, are we just saying, do
No.
it, I mean, how?
It's
That's okay. What do you
eliminating,
mean by how streamlined
Yeah.
is line?
it is eliminating the zoning administrator hearings. It's eliminating the entitlement process for many of these projects. But I think if you have what's called a, M3, manufacturing 3, if those still exist, it would not allow housing in those, that zone does not allow housing.
That's the points. Is mixed-use development part of this?
Yes, they would allow one story of mixed use. And also I should add that they're pretty much eliminating parking requirements, but that's because the state, because the new state law has already eliminated parking requirements, and there are no
And
parking.
then the other point would be, this particular group has been very strong in requesting affordability housing. Is that part of the proposal? Would that be something that we ought to request that they consider?
We could do anything we want, but we did not discuss that at the land use committee.
Yeah, they raised both of the last ones, I wanted to.
Can't hear you.
Sorry, I think they raised both of the last ones, I wanted to make and ask what to the streamlining question, so it's like no public, hearings or CEQA or any of that either?
Correct. Here, I'm gonna try and bring up the fact sheet. Make it a little,
Okay.
so I can't see hands while I'm looking for this still, sorry.
So, you're probably going, no, they couldn't have. What? There's no affordable housing, and yet they continue to take down everything that was supposed to be built for affordable. So I'm just gonna put it out there, which is, they put up a false narrative to get what they want, had nothing to do with affordable housing. That was just a nice little shield to put it out so that they can screw everybody.
That's what I hear, that's what I'm hearing.
That's the reality.
Okay, well, I'm.
Okay, well, we're.
Okay, but I don't know where we are, but what I am doing is scrolling through the fact sheet to see if they have addressed either of the questions, affordability or adjacency to noxious industrial use. Those are our two questions at the moment.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily noxious, I'm just saying.
Just adjacency to industrial uses.
Well, I mean, I think it's just some of it's just not good for housing.
Okay.
Affordability requirements.
Well, it's a linkage fee ordinance. Okay, Jasmine, since you focus on this topic, do we know what the link, I know you can't see it from back there, I'll read it. Will there be affordability requirements for adaptive reuse projects? The linkage fee ordinance applies to new construction as well as the conversion of existing buildings to residential uses. The linkage fee ordinance allows for the substitution of set-aside deed restricted units with an in lieu fee. So this is a backwards sentence. What they're saying is a developer can give money to this, to a pot of gold for building other affordable housing and not create affordable units within.
I want to clarify though that it's ironic to say a pot of gold because unfortunately the way a lot of those funds have worked is that they sit for so long that those funds depreciate essentially. So like whatever that sort of like rate or amount that they have to put in, it's like, especially with the way inflation's been going even like 3, 4, 5 years down the line, that money doesn't have as much buying power, especially in like cities like Oakland. So it's not the most effective way. It's not a very effective way at all, actually.
Okay, so the question is, I know what our motion was, just support it as presented, but do we want to instead do a letter that says we've had some, we support the concept, but we have concerns and would like to explore further how to ensure greater affordability in these adaptive reuse projects and protect residents from present or future industrial uses adjacent.
That's a motion, and a second time.
It has to be an amendment.
Would it be an amendment?
So with stipulations regarding affordability and what was the other point?
Adjacency to current or future industrial uses.
Again, like I said, well, my thing, not necessarily.
Don't we have a motion on the floor now?
Well, it would have to be reseconded.
Dennis, didn't you second?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to amend?
Yes. Motion to support proposal to streamline the process for the citywide adaptive reuse ordinance with stipulations regarding affordability and adjacent, I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand.
Okay, well.
I heard what you said, but I'm trying to.
I'll explain it. If the zoning, the underlying zoning is industrial, that means it's not just that this building, somebody's building could be currently next to an industrial use, but in the future.
So maybe surrounding zoning instead of just adjacent?
Right, so because somebody can build a new building that's industrial after you've just converted your industrial building into housing.
Existing industrial uses, which we've seen happen, unfortunately, where you've got schools,
Yes.
housing, the property, like metal recycling, so.
Yeah.
So it's been moved and seconded.
All right, so we are you done with discussion then, is that what you're saying?
Well, any other discussion? I'm done.
Okay, can we call for the vote?
Yeah, call.
Oh, and
I'm just clarifying, so we're voting for the original
motion with the addendum that
I
you
did.
asked for?
Yeah, I can read it for you if you want.
Yes.
Motion to support proposal to streamline the process for the citywide adaptive reuse ordinance with stipulations regarding affordability and surrounding zone.
And we'll write a letter, yes, we'll support it and
With a
write
letter.
a letter.
Well, I had another issue with what you just read about them being able to just basically buy out your affordable housing.
But that's pretty much, you mean pay the
Yeah.
linkage fee? Well, I don't think we can undo an existing ordinance, it's called the linkage fee ordinance. Yeah, so I do wanna say.
Vote how you feel.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I really do wanna say, these kind of issues should be hammered out at the committee.
Yeah, if I could say, also read the agenda packet, so you can see all the documentation, then you can come in. Yeah,
Okay.
but planning and land use is where this discussion is.
Because we had 2 hours.
Okay.
Jasmine?
Abstain.
Candace?
Yeah.
Laura?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Edward?
Didn't hear you, said no? Okay.
I am a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Corinne?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Diana?
Really?
Yeah, it's not funding.
Okay, yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Motion passes, thank you.
All right.
Okay, so the next item is, Council District 10 initiated, meaning did a motion from the council floor to nominate 1802 South Crenshaw, which is the Cunningham Mansion, to be a historic cultural monument. And this was built in 1915, Cunningham is Cunningham and O'Connor mortuaries, it was a pioneer mortuary funeral parlor guy. And the house is intact, Cunningham family still owns it intact from 1915 with all of its original furniture, it's kind of like a museum.
Oh, wow.
So I put a whole bunch of material in the packet, the motion itself, the staff report, which is positive, the staff toured the place and it's recommending that it be a landmark. There's some photos that came with the staff tour. The initial nomination itself, but not the final one, because that just came out today and it's 120 pages, so that's not there. And the Planning and Zoning Committee recommends support for the nomination. And this would be either for today, a letter of resolution, but it'd be better if we do a letter of resolution and community impact statement that would approve that, so we don't have to deal with this again. For the Cultural Heritage Commission, we just need the resolution, but when it gets to City Council, we would need a community impact statement. So our motion is to recommend support for the nomination, prepare a letter of resolution and community impact statement.
Is there a second?
These are 1 second. Is there a reason why you guys want to see the pretty pictures, or do we want to just? I know, just move forward because it's already made.
Any
I'm
discussion?
okay to go as it is.
Is there any discussion? I guess I have the gavel at the moment. I call for the vote. Are we good?
Yeah, I'm ready. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm seconding that, because I'm trying to, thank you. Okay, Jasmine?
Yes.
Candace?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Edward? I am a yes. Paula? Grace?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Corinne?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Diana?
Okay.
Chris?
Yes.
Thank you, motion passes.
Okay, follow up to previous cases, ENS, old business, Teresa.
You remember last week we had a discussion with 3020 Crenshaw and the Hillside theater and we advocated for a tree in one of those spaces. The zoning administrator said we can have a tree. If they do any work in the parking lot, then we get a tree.
Or more than one tree.
Or, yes, I mean, if they do the entire easement, because there are 30 spots that belong to Burger King, and they have 13, they will put in one tree for every 4 parking spaces. So we got our one tree, but we may get more with the whole parking lot.
We have a minimum of one tree, which is a full canopy providing shade. So we've tilted at a few windmills and actually. And I don't know that we have any other follow-up for that. So the next item on the agenda is me again.
I don't know, this, the other objections that were, any of that?
They were ordered to do all the preservation, historic preservation elements, but they did not, the determination letter did not address programmatically the affordability of the space.
Okay.
So we didn't get everything,
Yeah.
but,
Oh, it didn't address the affordability
well, of the rent.
of the rent.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But I do.
We got the trees now, all right.
I spoke, I mean, people can come to those meetings, I know it's difficult, but I.
No, I'm not saying that's, I'm just saying we take the trees, got something.
Well, you know what, I mean, I don't think we were necessarily expecting to get a determination letter that was in such detail about the trees.
Our board's letter did say, we are very concerned about, you know, our shade tree canopy, and we're concerned about the affordability, so.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda, which we flipped, is the environmental committee, community impact statement regarding Council File 230453, which requires cooling apparatus, that's what they're calling it, but air conditioners on all rental units. So as we know, extreme heat events are increasing in number and scope, and heat emergencies can have a devastating medical impact. City Council has already passed the initial motion and directed city departments to bring back a report to figure out how to do code amendments that would require, could require landlords to install cooling apparatus, so again, air conditioners. We discussed this at some length at the environmental committee 2 months ago, actually. And while we recommend the general support, because, you know, it's hot out there, what wasn't discussed in the original motion or any of the commentary with that is, number one, who's paying for the electrical upgrades to these apartments? So in other words, it's one thing to say for a landlord, spend $300 on an air conditioner, but it's quite another if they can't plug it in. And so is there any consideration of that? But equally important, because this is your environmental sustainability committee, is what would be the impact of every apartment in Los Angeles who's running air conditioning? What's the impact on the electrical grid and climate change? So we're asking that they ask the departments to do more reporting. So that would be our community impact statement.
If I just wonder from an overview, why not be considering designing a building appropriate for this environment that is itself cooler?
This is an ordinance about existing multifamily, not about new construction.
Why does she require?
Well, maybe it's about both.
Oh, okay.
But it's the concern is on the existing.
On the existing, okay.
What about the adapters?
Teresa.
Thank you, Laura. You are not the chair of this committee. I know you're a regular attendee. Can you let us know why Elizabeth's not here?
She's somewhere between Wichita, Kansas and Los Angeles.
I think it's important in the future, if the chair is not here and someone else is stepping in, if they let the board know, because we do need members. Thank you. And also for clarification, well, what is the motion, Laura?
To approve us preparing a community impact statement based on everything that's in the agenda packet. It's pretty thorough, it's a pretty detailed. Okay, Teresa's reminding me, I should point out, but I didn't make a motion. I should, because we don't have a motion yet, and I'm not making a motion because I'm not the chair of the environmental committee, but I do work for some of the departments that are older and in theory would require this problem, except for we have already provided it, which made to all of the units. So, but I want to disclose that I do work for a housing provider with older buildings. But they are air conditioners. So I'm not making the motion, and Elizabeth's not present to make the motion, so are we making a motion? And Dennis, your committee discussed this as well, did you not? The same.
Can you clarify the last part? I know you discussed.
I'm not the chair, the environmental committee makes the motion, only I'm not the chair of the environmental committee, so someone on this board needs to make the motion. Teresa thinks I probably should not.
I just think
Or I
we're
could
declare that.
I do not support the motion, I do not.
Well, okay, so because, I mean, well, we're having discussion, you oppose this?
I'm trying to vote in favor of it.
It's not going to do it. I mean, Laura, you're welcome to do that. I just thought it's important that you declare it.
Okay. Well, okay, I'm gonna make the motion, I don't know if there's a second, to adopt the proposed community impact statement for the environmental committee. Is there a second? Apparently not.
Second.
Oh, second.
So then we have to have discussions. I'm curious, what are the pros and cons? Because I feel like I've heard that as a, so I'd love to hear Jennifer's take on it.
I think Laura touched upon the cost quality of that, not just on the overload of our electrical system not being able to handle it, but rents are going up, and these are going to be passed through costs. They have to be passed through costs to add air conditioning to these additional units. And then the monthly electric bills will go up. It can't be included as part of the whole building can't be air conditioned because you have problems with people leaving their doors and windows open, so it has to be individual, which is pretty expensive and very inefficient. And I was not at the committee meeting to go through all this, and maybe I would be more conversant if I'd done that, but I'm very apprehensive about going forward with this. It seems to be just waving, let's give them all air conditioning, and I don't see it being workable.
So, go ahead.
No, I agree with that divided degree. I don't know, and like, I think pass through. I mean, if you're saying this is gonna be an ordinance, am I understanding this correctly?
They're considering whether it would be an ordinance. They asked
so
for
I'm saying-
report backs from city departments.
So I'm saying if they do it as an ordinance, and then the property owners sort of compelled to do it, they're gonna pass that cost on to renters, which is gonna, in effect, make rents go up. And so we're already in an unaffordable situation. I don't see this being of any value to people that's trying to, they go get a fan. That's all I mean.
Okay. So I guess I would ask, are we really talking about potentially doing a community impact statement not supporting this effort?
We talked about heat emergencies, and I think I happen to be one who brought up the possibility of
Yeah, I think you're the one
increasing
who
our
brought the whole thing
canopy,
up.
painting the streets white, like what Phoenix or Tucson's got hundreds of feet, a couple miles of gray streets now that are not soaking as much heat. It's really, that is low-hanging fruit, just cut down the amount of heat that you're absorbing by doing those two things. The environmentalists, this environmental committee's been strongly, they're getting more trees in.
Okay, so you want me to take this back to the environmental committee to rethink? But
It's
you'll
not just air
come to me-
conditioners, existing units or not. I think it's back to the big picture. And when the Environmental Protection Alliance, the Emergency Preparedness Alliance, in which I am the liaison, I mentioned this at this committee meeting, talked about it. They found the only one of possible interest was the coating of streets in areas that didn't have much canopy to cut down the heat absorption.
Okay, so again, I'm just asking a question because we should move on.
Yes.
Do you want us to take this back to the environmental committee, but for those of you who are concerned about it, will you attend? It's next Thursday night. Yeah, so we can put it on that agenda so we can have this more thorough discussion in a lengthier format.
Okay, so we have two concerns. What about the rest of the committee? Do we want to table this?
I'm okay with tabling it. But I just want to say, let's
I move to table.
come to the.
I second.
Discuss it.
I second.
Okay.
Okay.
We need to take a vote or show of hands.
Done.
Okay, so we're all agreed, we're tabling this.
Okay,
Okay.
and I'll put it with, we'll have Elizabeth put it on the agenda for next Thursday night. I have Gail back to, she's here for item D.
Okay, which is this?
I think,
Public safety emergency preparedness update on the hand crane.
I think we should at least lead it off on the hand crank radios. Please give it,
We're
service.
so delighted to be able to share with the group that we received all 300. They've all been labeled thanks to the wonderful team here, and they are in our storage locker.
We're restoring our stuff.
Yeah, public storage, which we really shouldn't, because I can't believe we have to pay that much.
We do just raise.
Okay, new subjects, let's go.
Administrative packet, I took that class. If you have any valuable items, you are required as a neighborhood council to have off-site storage.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah, no, not at somebody's personal house.
I can pick up the second part of that, which is about the our ongoing work for the reason for coming up with the radios, and that is to reward and incentivize people to come in, our residents, our shareholders, and get some training. We counted greatly upon our professional trainers with the neighborhood team program and the CERT program, essentially all aligned with the LA Fire Department, to come forward with the proposal that Grace and I put together. Quite frankly, we met with them and were greatly encouraged to do exactly what they're planning to do. They feel that they cannot just take their existing program and deliver it as they indicated they could.
Oh.
They haven't let us down totally because we keep nudging them with this, and they've talked about this Listos program, which I think is wonderful, because I'm told that in Spanish, Listos means ready. We've already had this, are you ready? So it seems like there's destiny there. It's hard to get a handle on this. There's no existing Listos program in LA County. I inquired about that. I went to all their websites, and they go back to generic materials, essentially you get handed out all the time. You should be prepared, you should have takeaway. In Santa Barbara, they actually got a program going, and I researched it, and essentially it looks like a group got together, saying we should do this, and they went on a retreat and did the training. But our neighborhood team program lead, Patrick, Bose, something hyphenated, is quite taken with it. I think it's quite good. And it does sound to me as if it's a more organic approach to this, coming up right from the people. It's very much a neighbor to neighbor, even better than the cool blocks that we were investigating. And it's also particularly trying to go with Spanish language training. So we're counting on our neighborhood team program to help get this together and bring it to us. Hopefully in the expected dates in the last half of September. And that's what we're hoping for.
So this is the mini cert with a new name and a new focus.
Research by another name will be the Listos.
Right. Getting ready in Spanish.
You could, to give you something, let's see. The California Office of Emergency Services proposed this, but neighborhood team folks, they don't necessarily want to go with that grant. There's a grant program, and apparently that opposes some things they don't really like. So basically, Listos California is a grassroots disaster preparedness program that can be tailored to meet the individual needs of Spanish-speaking communities. Emphasizes targeted recruitment and presentations tailored to the specific cultural and linguistic needs of the targeted community. And that seems to be well suited for us.
Why aren't you guys working with the area survey, are
We never stopped working with them, but they're just not able to deliver the kind of program that you wanted. They have, I'm cert trained, and it's a rigorous program, I think 7 nights, maybe 3 hours a night. We can't, with the amount of response we're not getting from the community, we can't expect people to do that. So we try to give them a half a cert.
Actually, it could be that we don't need to go through them. They're not needing to. We can just have the few people who we know that are already cert trained do one topic each and we get done. So they don't need to give us their time. We can do this.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we're afraid like that, it's still on the house.
Yeah, but so previously when we were discussing this, whether it was here or your committee, I can't remember, I thought the official other group, CERT, whoever it was, Stay Safe LA, but you're using this room, but their insurance.
They said the fire department, we cover the insurance. I just
Okay,
wanted to-
because we want to keep, is that still the situation, because
I think we can do it with another group and we will get the firefighters approval so that we have their insurance so that we can host.
Right,
it.
because-
So we will find a workaround to do what we want to.
Because this organization, the group of entities that owns this place, they need 4 different certificates of insurance. So it's, and a waiver of subrogation, so it's expensive. That's why so if we're gonna have 3 things where it's our insurance, we need to know and vote on that, it's a funding request.
We're not, except the fire department.
Yeah, so, yeah.
We'll get the fire department to sign on. If not, I'm opening up my house in the front yard, okay?
Okay. No, I'm just saying, well, they have some of their own needs here that are problematic too.
But, where's? Number 94, okay, community room, from the fire department.
It's not within our UNNC footprint, but, you know, we'll figure it out.
We could use the
Thank you. We'll figure it
Southeast House of Benny Potter Park, but I know that you guys have talked about this, and if the fire department is gonna cover the insurance, then
it's all good.
Yeah, well, fire department, at the moment, they're aligned with the neighborhood tea program, and they're trying to bring those resources to us. And there's no, as I say, there's no existing program in the county that looks like the one that will work for us. And somebody's getting started, and grants are available, just saying that, that may be what Santa Barbara's using, but we can't necessarily come on it, but that would be nice to get.
Alright.
so do you need a vote or something from us?
No, we're just reporting on this because we promised that we're gonna go forward like this, and we've been diverted, so it's basically, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
But it's not quite the way we told you last time.
Thank you. We have a report from Teresa on SLAANC.
Yeah, no, it's not for me. Actually, my recommendation would be to put this, so the South LA Neighborhood Council Alliance, yes, South LA Alliance of Neighborhood, yes. They, need a representative from each neighborhood council. But this would probably, I think, Paula should go with when we elect chair people.
Yeah, the only reason we did it now is because Cyrus Mason asked us to. She's the chair of SLANC. She went dark for this month and asked, not just us personally, all neighborhood councils in South LA to have selected someone by next month. I mean, by the next meeting. I'm sorry, she went dark.
So now.
So now for the third, for this month's meeting. And why we need to reselect, and why we need to reselect is that Sarah Lacey and Dorit, no, Sarah Lacey and Dorit, who are not on the board anymore, were our SLANC reps.
But I would say next month, you're gonna have all of those, not just the chair opportunities, but all of these alliances throughout the neighborhood council. There's the LGBT Alliance, there's the NASCA, which is a neighborhood sustainability.
Well, maybe we have people. There are a lot of reaffirm people. Well, the only question is that if we're not gonna do it tonight, does anyone even want to do it?
I wouldn't mind doing it, but I think it should be do you want to do it too? Oh, go ahead.
So my question is, how much of the time?
It's about 3 hours once a month on Zoom, on the third
Same day, I mean.
It's the same day as Tori. It's the same day as our homeless one. Yeah.
And then you just come back over to
Thursday on Zoom.
And the meeting is
It pretty much is. Maybe
the
two and a
REIT's still
half.
doing it, but.
Doreen is still doing
Yeah,
it, so we could wait a bit, but she,
Can you just make her like the landline?
You know what, did Candace, are you still interested, or you were just inquiring?
She's on the fence.
It sounds interesting, like it's a cool opportunity to network with
Okay, so is that a yes? Let's just cut to the
But if there is still doing it, we need to at least come in and say, please continue on your. Right. And we're not.
Yeah.
so
Okay. Okay, all right, but we will accept Candace's volunteer now.
The meeting room.
well,
No, I can't, does it have to be?
well, there's a
Oh.
primary, a secondary.
So what the hell would it
Right, so if Doreen is primary, then Candy's secondary.
Yeah.
Doreen.
Okay, so I'll call the regional find out.
Yeah.
But at any rate, Candace, you're in.
Oh, first
We do need a motion. We need a motion, we have to vote, we have to submit a letter to.
Right.
Oh, we do?
Congress.
Okay.
And so, the motion would be,
To
for
appoint Candace as
the
representative.
moment, to, reappoint Dorit, what's the whole name, Fowler?
That's okay.
Dorit,
I know.
Yes,
and Candace Jackson as UNC's primary and secondary representatives to school. And we'll let them figure out for who's primary.
Okay, we have a second?
oh, okay,
Sorry, who
perfect.
who was the motion?
Laura.
Okay, Jasmine?
Yes.
Candace?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
Edward?
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula?
Yes,
Grace?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Diana?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Motion passes.
all right, that was the last agenda item, unless there are other committee reports.
Do you have
Oh,
a
me?
report?
I can.
5 minutes.
We met with Councilwoman Hutt, regarding a resource service center for homelessness. And we're waiting to hear back on that, gave her a couple of suggestions. Met with Mayor Gass, that we can have a go regarding homelessness, and I disagree with the plan that they have in place right now to, contact the circle team. And so we met with Chief Moore today, and so I was able to address that issue. And he said, we'll work on getting us a designated line and going direct, because this is not working.
Chief who?
Moore,
Okay,
Michael Moore.
okay,
And then we met with, meeting with LASA next week, which is the Homeless Service Authority.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna express further that I want a designated line. And, we had a big permit meeting secondary to new developments lately, because of no parking.
oh.
So it's coming over into the neighborhoods.
Hmm.
And so that's the problem. And so everybody's debating or having a big argument or disagreement about permanent parking versus no permanent parking. Versus those who didn't get notified to sign a permit for permanent parking. So it's ongoing. So, right now, on my way here, someone just called me about one of the grants, and they're looking for a property of anyone who wishes to sell for housing to be in compliance with this particular grant, so that address can go on the grant. So if you know any Laura, if you'll make it, then we can use for housing, let me know. So it's been really busy, but we're getting things done, that makes sense, cause I've had about 8 people come to me in the last 2 weeks, they need housing. So, and it's gonna be more because of the Barrington Square issue, they're trying to displace 500 units, which means over 700 people, more, that's just one place that we dislocated. Or, you know, it's just unreal what's happening. And so there's gonna be a lot more evictions because the moratorium was extended, but people are so confused, they thought it ended on the 31st of March. So it was like, it's just ongoing havoc. And so they put some more concrete plans, and so we're supposed to meet with the housing authority to give them some solutions from the community perspective of what is working and what is not working, and how we come up with different policies and procedures. Did you get that? You good with that? Okay.
And to new people like me, can you introduce yourself and the committee you're on?
He's a homeless liaison.
You did, yeah, you did.
Tori Bailey.
Yes.
TORIBAILEY.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, we have a Victoria lot. She's a homeless liaison, and as you can see, she's very busy.
Oh, extremely. I am involved. But, and then opposed to the meeting next month, Paula, can I make it the 4th Thursday? Was it not? Can I make it the 4th Thursday?
Okay, well, Teresa's about to address.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we don't have to address that here, we can talk about that, but anyway.
Teresa has.
Yes, so
It relates
regarding
to
recreation and parks, everyone, we use the South Seas House for our meetings, for all of our standing meetings. They're gonna be closed for 2 weeks,
Okay.
the 14th through the 27th, to do some renovations and updates.
Okay.
So we 1 week we have 4 meetings, Dennis, Grace, planning and zoning,
And
homelessness, right, so.
Yeah.
What?
Exact two, right?
An executive,
Yeah,
right,
executive.
right, so what the discussion is, if we can move those meetings, because it's 2 weeks, we can move them to the last week, or if we're just gonna cancel them and then try.
We may have to cancel, because that's 14 through 27, you don't have to, in a month.
The Public Safety and Emergency Planning Committee is skipping August.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, well, I guess I can skip August too. Wanna do that?
Or you could do it on the 29th, I think Rex and Parks will still be on the 29th.
What day is it? Is that Sunday?
No, it's Thursday. Okay, so,
Perfect.
so,
And planning and zoning,
we don't have anything.
well, I don't have an agenda.
So then the question
I mean, we
is
might do a
executive.
special meeting later, but we can skip that.
Okay, so what would we do with executive?
Where can the executive meet?
Executive, then we will 30, that's on Tuesday.
Can we figure that out outside the meeting?
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
Right, but it won't be the third, it cannot be the third Tuesday.
Right.
Well,
I mean, it could be if we wanted to fight it, but I'd rather not,
Right.
Right.
let's save that fight for something else.
And everyone,
So-
before we, oh, there was something else?
No, so I'm a skip August.
Yeah.
Okay, that was record show.
Okay.
That there will be no homelessness liaison meeting on, for the
In
month of August 2023. And then I'll be in Sacramento anyway that week.
Oh, okay.
And who else was it?
Planning and zoning.
Emergency?
We're not meeting in
Yeah.
August.
Okay, emergency.
Yeah, it's just executive and stuff.
Okay,
And if planning and zoning needs a meeting, we'll just announce it.
okay. Please keep in mind, everybody, we need someone to provide refreshments for next month's meeting. I've got, volunteers for October and November, but we still need someone for September. And, that is very important. And if there are any other committee reports, if not, we are adjourned 9:20.
Hey.
So what's 9:40? Yeah, 9:20.
Progress.
Yeah, progress, thank you.
You guys, please,
We're moving in the right direction. Clearly.